Hey folks, Doug Blake with Body Design University. Let me ask you a question. How are you doing on your sales? That's right, getting new clients. For those of you that have 10, 15, maybe even 20 clients, how are you doing when it comes to ensuring that you're keeping your schedule booked? For those of you that only have one or two clients, how are you doing when it comes to converting your leads into prospects into new clients? How's it going? If it's going great, go ahead and turn the video off because you don't need any of my help with this. But here is two things, the two key things. I mean, there's more to it, but here's two really important things I want to hit you with today on this video. When you're sitting down, when you have somebody that is at least showing interest in your servicing, it doesn't matter where it's at, by the way, whether you're in a big box gym and you're an employee and you've done a free workout, whatever the case is, and now you've got to sit down and talk to this potential client, right, about your services, the cost and the things they can expect. Whether it's that or you are an independent trainer working at the same facility and you've got to work a little bit harder to acquire leads, right? The new members that are coming in, or maybe you're just in a standalone boutique personal training studio, or you own your own facility. And boy, if you own your own place, I hope that you've got this down. So, but just let me give you two really important tips. Oh, and by the way, same thing applies when you're doing online training. You may think it doesn't. And for the most part, low ticket item, they're basically purchasing a package and they're doing that because of price. But the higher ticket item and the coaching component scenario when you're doing online training requires the same sort of tactics and tips and communication skills. So keep these two things in mind, okay? First one is you must have a formal presentation, a complete presentation for your services, expectations, things that go along with that. Make sure either a flip chart, which is the old way to do it, or you can have it on a, not on a phone, but you can have it on a laptop or anything that will allow you to electronically flip one slide after the other. Make sure, that's number one, that you have an official presentation. Please don't be drawing stuff with crayons on a piece of blank paper when you're trying to sell me on a personal training services where I'm going to be spending $300, $400, $500 a month. Okay. Don't be sitting there looking and going, oh, this is what I'm going to do. And we'll do. No, don't be doing that. You must have a formal presentation where you can refer to it. Okay. It's very professional. So whether it's a flip chart or you're just pushing slides, make sure it's formal and make sure you have rehearsed through it so you can get me through the presentation. So now I understand what the service involves. I understand what the expectations are from me as a client and you as the trainer. So that's the first one. You got to have a formal presentation. Second, critical is you should always be thinking your pricing, and therefore you have to have a price presentation at the very end of your sales presentation. You got to always be thinking what it is you're going to be charging individuals, and therefore you have to show them in a very professional, specific, well-developed, formal presentation part, the sales component itself. So you've got to be able to sell, right, and give the pricing for the sales. Okay, so you've got your presentation. Number one, got to have a formal presentation. And then at the end of that formal presentation, the second one is a price presentation. So the selling of your service based on this pricing needs to be formal. Please don't, while you're explaining things to me at the very end, go, oh, and by the way, I charge about, it depends, $45 an hour, 50, something like that. But if you pay me up front, I'll give you, no, don't be doing that. The pricing is the pricing. So you have a price presentation. Although it's part of the formal general presentation, it's almost like two completely separate parts of the interaction you're having with a potential new client. Keep that in mind. It's very important. This sales component that you're moving into, you can really shoot yourself in the foot. Now, I would say this, you could probably put a third element in here, but I kind of leave that entirely on its own for another video, which is the idea that the best salespeople don't sell. Okay. you present and you offer and you show the value of the product or the service. That's one of the reasons why you want to have an actual presentation and then a price presentation embedded in the presentation, but you almost see it as a switchover. Once you start your basic presentation, it almost comes to an end, and then you kind of flip your chart if you're doing that, or you get to the price and you kind of slow down and you go, okay, so now, and we teach this in our course itself, and now that I've explained all this and we've gotten to this point, which one of these pricing options works better for you? And once you step into that mode of your price presentation, now what you're going to do is engage the client in a what's called a close. And you want to close on this individual so you can get them to purchase your product. If you're thinking sales, used car salesman type of stuff, that's generally where trainers have a challenge. So let's keep it at the two things. Have a formalized presentation and then have a price presentation. You got to have those two things. And we'll talk about it again in another video. What happens after you get through that price presentation and you start the close component of the sale. So I hope this was helpful. Just remember, it's amazing. I see trainers all the time that don't even have those two components. You got to have those two things first and foremost before we can even talk about how you're actually going to close the sale and get a client into your training services. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, please go ahead and leave them in the comments below. If you're watching this on our YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you know when the new videos are coming out. It's always a pleasure. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. Thanks.